our pal Fred Smoot, former Washington cornerback.
Smooty Flakes.
Hey, buddy.
What's up, brothers? How y'all doing,
Mr.
man?
Smoot.
All right, we're doing great. Let's get right to it. What is up with your boy?
Who? Which boy?
Manny Forbes.
Oh, Manny
Come on.
Forbes.
What
That's
is
his
up?
guy.
Come on, tell me. You know more than me. I've been for a year and a half trying to stand up for the guy, and I don't know how to
Hey,
defend it.
Fred, let me ask you a question. In your career, did you ever have 2 personal fouls on the same play?
I don't think so, but I've been humiliated on national TV many times.
Yeah.
It comes with the position of cornerback. It's a very humbling position. It's like being in the batter's box in baseball. If I go 3 for 10, I could be an all-star. So it's a position of failure. And y'all show up on this Monday, and y'all got to change it from Misery Monday, maybe to Reality Monday. Y'all show up and y'all go paralysis by over-analysis. The one thing I could say he did yesterday was when he did get beat, it was some sticky coverage, and I can give Tampa Bay all the props. They did a good job because they know one thing about Chris Godwin. He's very good inside, but when you put him outside, he cannot get off the press. So anytime they want to get him the ball, they put him in motion to make sure the guy that was on him could not press him. And Baker Mayfield killed us by 1,000 paper cuts. It wasn't that he was pushing it down the field. He made the right throw at the right time, and he bent those zones, and he bent those that man-to-man to his wheel. So this really wasn't a Manny Forbes problem. It was the fact that, let's keep it real, fellas, 70% of this defense hasn't played together. Yesterday was the first day of a new era. Yesterday was the first start of everything we're trying to build. They look like a boy band that got together on Monday. They look like they haven't played together, and you flip that page to Tampa. They went to the playoffs last year. Baker re-signed. Tristan's one of the best tackles in football. You look on the defensive side, Vita Vea. You look at Antoine Winfield. This is a team that's been together. So you're talking about cohesiveness versus new team, and that's what we got.
By the way, how do you slow down Mike Evans? I mean, you played corner in the league for years. I mean, that guy's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, catches 2 touchdowns. You know, St-Juste looked like he had decent coverage on the first one, even though he's a little handsy there, but you have to be with a target that big. Like, how do you slow down Mike Evans if you're a corner?
You start by simply getting on the knee and you start to pray before the game. All right? You also have to beat them on paper. You have to beat them with the pen when it comes to a Mike Evans, because with him being as tall as he is and as rangy as he is, you can throw 50 balls to him. He's a bad ball catcher. It don't matter where you put it up at. And I would thought St-Juste would have been the match that you want to see on him. But the one thing that St-Juste lacks that you would want him to do to be a complete corner is ball skills, because he's never out of position. It's just he never tries to track the ball. The ball in the end zone, if he would have turned his head slightly, he could have either knocked that ball down or picked that ball off. But then I knew something was going to happen when he missed that interception. Anytime a missed turnover, an opportunity happens, something that the offense will capitalize.
Well, do you think this is going to be an issue all season?
I don't. I think the more and more they play together, the more and more they troubleshoot together, the more they get a chance to go rep for rep. And the one thing that killed us yesterday was third down. We were awful on third down, and they didn't give the offense a chance to get the ball moving. You got to realize, we had the ball in the first half for 10 minutes and 48 seconds. The offense only had 21 plays. We didn't get this team to punt to the third quarter. Our special teams stunk. All right, the one thing you cannot do with a young quarterback is push the ball down the field and don't get any points away from it. So if we can take anything good away from it, we went to a playoff team's house, we battled them for 3.5 quarters, and we did this with a new group of guys. So I'm not as down as everybody else because I'm a reality guy. I know what clock we on compared to some other teams.
All right, but isn't the reality, Fred, that the defense that finished 32nd overall last year is under-talented?
We couldn't fix this. We couldn't fix this house in 1 year. Like, it's not Tristan. It's not tackles dropping out of the sky. It's not pass rushers. No Michael Parsons. If it was 10 of those out there, all the teams would have them. Like, we're starting to collect and build, and you can't fix everything. I thought we fixed the linebacker position. I think Lugu showed up yesterday. Wagner showed up yesterday. But we cannot fix everything, and they're going to get better. That's what I'm saying. They're going to get better, and we need to believe that.
He said he thought Luvu showed up yesterday.
I didn't see Luvu.
I didn't see him do anything.
Where'd you see him? Did he play another game?
Let me ask you something. What were you prepared? What's a good game and what's a bad game to y'all? Is it all about win?
No. Maybe
You know what?
as a
Big
defense
plays.
forced 3 punts, they forced 1.
Not allow. Here you go, Freddie. Not allowing the team to score on 7 of their first 8 possessions.
I think that's
Listen, I cannot take up for a defense that did not show up yesterday. All right, they did not show up on the road, and they lost to a talented offense. I just called out a couple of Pro Bowlers, and maybe y'all looked at Tampa as a team that wasn't as good as they are. Y'all didn't give them the fact that they've been together so long that y'all didn't give them any props about what they were. And we had to take a young team on the road for the first game of the year, and we did not go out there and give our best ball. Like, I agree with y'all on that. But I can say this. This is the beginning. This is the beginning. This is just the start. This is not the complete this. You don't want the beginning of your era to come in and your team is already complete. We only going to get better day by day.
Here's the thing, Fred. I actually can make the argument. You guys can mock me, and my colleagues often do.
Yeah, I know they do.
And we
I know
will.
they do.
And we will.
But
Cakes.
we and my buddy JP is so upset that like our ends didn't get pressure and everything. But our interior of the line, I'm very disappointed in it. I felt like we were gutted in the middle there, but they pressured Baker like 10. I think Pro Football Focus has 10 pressures, and he escaped like a magician out of there 4 or 5 times. That if we sack him, let's say 3 of those times, those drives likely end in punts, and we have a different football game. I'm not saying we're going to win that game. They were better. But there are some bright spots. We did get some pressure. It didn't come from the ends per se, and they didn't tackle well and close the deal, but they were right there a bunch of times.
Thank you. You are a God's blessing to football.
Thank you.
My friend. You was watching the same flat screen that I was watching. They just didn't complete them.
Right.
Like, they had Baker in the backfield 5 or 6 times,
Right.
and Baker got out of there. Like, and all props to Baker.
Yes.
Like, it's something about finding a home and being wanted and being comfortable in playing football. That's what Baker's done. You're right, John Allen missed 2 sacks yesterday. Lawrence even got it right. We had a couple of people touch the quarterback for him to come out of there and get 10 yards down the field or push the ball down the field or rush down the field. So, yes, they were disrupted, but they did not complete the task. They did not finish the tackle, and that was the only problem. And you can't do that on the road. You cannot not complete the sack, not get any turnovers, and not give your quarterback, your young quarterback, a short field to make some plays and give him a chance to actually go out there and show people what he can do.
What do you make of Kingsbury's offense? Because I'll admit I'm no X's and O's guy, and it seems like, but that offense was pretty freaking boring. I didn't see any creativity, and Jaden, God bless Jaden, he made the game exciting for me. But like, I don't know, man. Can he scheme guys open? You can say what you want about Jay as a head coach. Jay schemed guys open. Can he scheme guys open?
Oh, most definitely can scheme guys open, but like I said, you're going on the road with a rookie quarterback. You really want to run high tempo. You really want to speed up the pace, but you can't because of the crowd noise. You really want to do some things that you can't not just put it all on this plate at one time, which I understand that. This offense has to grow. You won't see the complete offense maybe the week 10 or week 11. So in that way, you have to be patient with the quarterback like you got to be patient with the offensive coordinator. Putting too much on his plate is paralyzing him also. So I thought game plan I thought was good. I just thought, the one thing I really thought, like, Terry would be one of those guys that they'll go to early and often, but I also know why they didn't do that, because forcing the ball to Terry also gives them a chance to turn the ball over, which James Daniels did not turn the ball over yesterday. But I don't know if y'all waiting on all this pizzazz and stuff, but we on the life clock of James Daniels. That's all they care about. We're not going to throw everything in his lap in week 1. It's impossible.
Right. I do believe that. I do believe Cliff's idea, and they talked about it. I'm sure they talked about it in the meetings with the broadcasters, was to break him in slowly.
Yes, you have to do that with a quarterback. I'm sorry, you have to spoon feed him. You know what? I think C.J. Stroud has just he's messed everything up. Everybody thinks rookie's going to come in and do a C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud is in the else has came into the NFL and done what he did. So it's one of them things we have to be patient, but we're not used to quarterbacks. All right, watch the franchise. We're not used to quarterbacks, and we're not used to nurturing them. The one thing about Green Bay knows how to nurture and develop a quarterback. We need to start to take from them and understand if you don't have patience, you don't have a chance.
I got to go back to your Forbes analysis because I can't even remember what you said. Why is
he defended him.
I know. Why is he good? What does he do well? Why is there a future for him? What is he good at?
But he's good at basically getting the ball back. He's a ball magnet, all right? I know he hasn't been doing that. The one thing I can equivalent to this to is having the yips in baseball. Just because I can't hit the ball in June don't mean I can't come back and hit the ball in August. All right? It's one of them things where he's one play away from getting his swag back. He's one interception away from being what we want him to be. You know, when things start to avalanche on you, especially at the cornerback position, especially when you're telling me I'm going to go into a game, and that's what I think he needs to really figure out, what he's going to give and what he's going to take. Because when you go out there and you're playing against some of the best athletes in the world and you're doing your job going backwards, you need to understand you cannot stop the whole route tree. But I can stop what you really want to do. And I think that's what he needs to get better at, but he's never really out of place. The one thing he's not doing that he did in college at a high level is finishing plays. If he starts to finish his plays, he will be everything he wanted to be. But right now, he's the one that everybody's sucking on. When I don't think St-Juste didn't play well yesterday, it's a lot of corners and a lot of safeties did not play well yesterday.
All right, Fred, you make good points about how this is a building process. Okay, but you know how Commanders fans are. They hear this hype in preseason about Daniels. They see what he did, and even though he was only on the field 5 minutes, and they think, all right, we can compete for a division or a wild card. But I get it. It's a building process. I think you have to judge not only Daniels but the entire coaching staff in year 3. That's the blueprint. That's the window for me. But this week you're playing a bad team. All right, Daniel Jones is not good. He's proven that over the last 4 years. The Giants were embarrassed yesterday. Their coach is on the hot seat. Their GM's on the hot seat. So what do you think will change offensively for Washington? Because you can't just run Daniels 16 times a game.
No, you won't. But you also will be playing at home for the first time of the year, so that when he's on the field, he won't have to deal with the crowd noise. You can put more install and more things into the playbook. And like you say, well, I can say this. The Giants are not a great team, but Daniel Jones seems to play well at FedEx Field, so that scares me in a way to the point that he's so damn comfortable that he's not worried about anything. So that's the first thing we need to change. We need to make Daniel Jones uncomfortable. And this is the measuring stick, not the playoff team. It's can you win in a division? Can we get over this giant slump? And can we get over this giant hump that we haven't been able to get over for years? So, yes, this is the measuring stick, but don't forget, they do have Dexter Lawrence and Thibodeau and Brian Burns. So this offensive line will be tested when it comes to the pass rush. But if you really want to tire those guys out, then you don't have to go vertical. You need to beat them horizontally and make them run and chase until you tire them out and then run the ball at them. So I think they'll have a unique game plan for the Giants. But also, this is the real measuring stick, if you ask me. Can you win inside the division? Are you going to get over that hump? And can you beat a team that most people would say you're supposed to beat?